And welcome back to Pure Nebraska. Wednesdays here on our daily show, we like to put the spotlight on the farm women's group CommonGround.
CommonGround is a group of farm women who want to be a resource for consumers who want to know more about how their food is grown. In today's interview, we talk with Dodge resident Joan Ruskamp about why consumers don't have to fear how food is produced on the modern farm. Hey everybody, I am here today with Joan Ruskamp. She is from Dodge, Nebraska, and you're here at the FFA convention. What are you talking about?
Well, we met with some FFA students that are in a program and learning more about talking about agriculture with our consumers, how we do what we do on our farms.
And how did you get with CommonGround?
Well, I was kind of concerned about things I was reading about my job and what I was doing that weren't accurate, and CommonGround had just started and they were looking for volunteers to go out and meet with consumers and answer their concerns, and so that's what got me started.
Okay, so what were you hearing? What are some of the misconceptions that are out there?
One of them has to do with added hormones in food, and we do add a hormone for cattle, and one of the reasons is we don't feed bulls, we feed steers. Bulls are aggressive, and you put a few together and they're going to fight. When we feed cattle, we want calm, collected, content cattle, and so that's why we neuter them and make them steers. So we use an added hormone as a pellet that goes under the skin in the ear. That piece of the ear is thrown away, never seen by the food supply, and it's dispensed very slowly in the body over several months of time. It sends a message to a receptor that causes that body to do something, like use less feed to produce more muscle. And so it's allowing us to be more efficient with our resources. And so what I found, though, people still didn't quite understand, but you're still adding this to our food. And so as I researched, I discovered hormones are in all our food. And so I did this little display to compare the amounts of estrogen. I used an M&M to equal 1 nanogram of estrogen. A nanogram is 1 billionth of a gram, so it's super tiny, and I blew it up really big to an M&M size.
Okay, so this is what you got right here then.
Yep, so that's what's in the jars. Okay. And so I counted out the M&Ms and what you would find if you ate 1 egg, or 1 serving of potatoes, 1 serving of peas, or 1/4 pound hamburger. And I would have people look at them and say, well, tell me what you think the levels of estrogen are in the foods. Which food belongs to which jar? Right. And 99% of the time, people who aren't familiar with agriculture and farming would say, and actually even some farmers would say this was the beef. They would be really surprised when I would turn the jars around and discover that this was actually the hamburger. We have hormones in our food that we're eating. They're naturally there. Estrogen is in all living things. It causes us to grow. So let's understand that hormones are used to make body functions happen. They don't sit in muscle tissue and hang out for people to eat later. Yeah. It's utilized by an animal, by a person, by a plant to grow and thrive. And so that's why we're able to utilize the benefit of that implant in cattle to help them thrive and use less resources to produce a high quality protein.
Yeah. This makes sense. Good to have you here today, and thank you. I love this demonstration.
Thank you.
That really made it easy to understand, I think. So
thank you.
Thank you, Joan.